Okay. It's been one whole year since I've gotten you to sit down and film a video. Well, folks. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, you doing pretty
We're
good?
doing a video on our bed where we have...
And we're talking about... It has been almost a whole entire year. I was thinking last time we filmed the video, we talked about our honeymoon, first honeymoon expectations. What's even happened in this last year? A lot.
I got a different job. I quit my current job, got a different job, quit that job,
Started
went back
business.
to my current job,
Started
started a
two
business.
businesses, quit one of them, stuck with the other.
Well, yeah.
Okay, but one note, Elijah quit his job with BGR, which is Bethel, and started this other job, and it was like 2 weeks in, and he would come home stressed out of his mind. And I'm like, I'm from LA, I don't really know what tree fallers entail, or like...
We weren't really, we were falling trees, but it was more climbing.
Yeah, so
like
climbing
working
trees.
with cranes and rigging and being up high.
I don't have any clue how that world works. You come out stressed out of your mind, and I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, what is the deal? And one day I'm like going for a little walk, or I'm out and about, and Elijah texts me, and he goes, hey, so I think I'm gonna buy life insurance. It's like, are you kidding me?
I was feeling like
the weight of the world on your shoulders?
No, I was feeling like obviously stressed, but was like, man, if I could just, get this life insurance, where it's like, if I'm gone, I'll know that you're good, so I don't need to stress about anything anymore.
About dying anymore?
Yeah, so then I'd be good.
So every day he would come home so stressed, I realized, oh, he's terrified that he's going to die every single day. What in the world? This is not the life we need to live. Like, we do not need to do this.
Well,
anyway.
There's other factors. It was the crew. The crew that I was working for was super green. Now, it's completely different when you're working with a crew that's experienced, or at least has some common sense.
Yeah. Well, you quit that job, which thank the Lord.
Quit that job.
Oh my gosh, okay, there's so many thoughts that are coming to my head. We moved houses. Well, remember when that guy tried to break in our house?
Yeah.
This person tried to break into our house when I told him. When Elijah, this was all in the same season when he was working for this company. He thought he was going to die every day. And then one morning he had left for work, and I always make him wake me up if he's leaving before I'm awake, because I hate waking up and feeling like he just left. So he had said goodbye.
Early.
Yeah, like 5:45.
Yeah.
And then I fell back asleep. And when you're like in a daze, and I hear someone banging on the door. Anyway, we don't have to go into the whole story, but basically there's this man in this black hood with a black backpack trying to get into the house. And we live in this is when we were living in the studio. No in, no out. Like, just...
Well, there was one way
I'm
in,
sorry.
one way out.
No.
Jesus, how do you get in the freaking house?
There's just one way in and one way out. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I call Elijah. And Elijah comes booking home. Like, just high stress season of life already.
I was so pissed off.
Booked it home before the cops get there and chases this man down like a mile down
I was
the street
so mad.
in his work boots. And he has this like reflector top on. Anyway, crazy. We ended up, that was our cute little studio that we lived in for a whole year.
Then we moved.
And we've lived in the most sweet little cottage.
It's nice.
What we've learned in the first year of marriage.
I've learned a lot.
In the first year of being married.
About you or about myself?
Both.
Mm.
Honestly, it's been a big year. Like, you started a business.
Yeah.
In the middle of
COVID. On our honeymoon.
Yeah, which is a lot to handle as a newlywed. Like 21 years old, you get married, you go on a honeymoon, you start a business, you come back, you're settling into married life while you're starting a business, while you're still working full time, while you're balancing having a wife and establishing like our foundation and our
friends and
like our whole new normal, which is a huge adjustment.
Plus working a full-time job.
Yeah. So maybe what are some like takeaways that you had in the first year with like balancing everything? Maybe like when was a time that you even failed, and what did you learn from that with balancing all those different things?
I think figuring out, like even in this season, figuring out like what's my priority, like in this season, and then figuring out what my priorities are, and then like learning how to like pursue that. So like you would be my main priority. So while having all of these things that I'm doing, all of these things around me, still trying to figure out how do I still make you my priority
and feel like you're
my priority, because it's super easy to make it seem like you're just there instead of like, I don't know.
Yeah, instead of like
you're the queen or you're the priority.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on or is around you.
I feel like that's probably been the biggest challenge of the whole year. Like if I think back on like it felt like the first 6 months were like, whoo, we are flying, and this is just like is what it is. And then as things kind of started to like settle in, it started to feel really hard, at least for me. And I think one of the things that felt the hardest is like, I would say, I mean, your season and what filled your plate is huge, but I would say we both began to, it felt like, live our own lives a little bit. Like I had my own friends and all my things that I would do, and then Lige was doing all the things that he would do, and then we would like find time to be together. But
it's hard because you have to, like, we're even now learning how to find a balance between like even with friends, you know, we have two different friends. Like my friend group is completely different than your friend group, you know. So how do we balance spending time with each other's friends, or like
doing things
together, or
which is interesting because like most of my friends are not married, nor are they even in a relationship, and same with your friends.
Right. I don't have a single friend that's married.
Yeah.
Besides,
but
like
then
Silas
or Matt and Amy. Like there's like a few friends, but we are like, we see them together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's a one-off thing when we hang out with them. Yeah. So it has been such a balance. What do you think began to shift that, though? I think it's still learning and process.
Yeah, I think we're still I think I suck at that.
I wouldn't say that. I feel like the last month there's been a huge shift.
Yeah, maybe. But I think that's just going back to figuring out, like, priority. Mm-hmm. Because I'm a very driven person, and I can easily get like distracted from the main thing.
Yeah, like I mean, it wasn't like I feel like it wasn't pretty even when we began to be like, like this isn't working.
Right.
Like it wasn't just like, oh, we had a nice conversation and then everything went back to, I just want to be with you all the time.
Yeah.
It was like, you're not hearing me, you're not hearing me, you're not hearing me. Communicating, feeling like we're totally off, not hitting the mark for not just like a couple days or a couple weeks, like months of feeling like, do I even want to spend time with you now that I could spend time with you? Because I've been so hurt and so disconnected for so long.
Right. And spending time with you means that I can't just chill.
Yeah. Or I mean, you could, like, we could have, if that was like, if there had been quality intentional time spent.
Right.
But instead it's like, oh, I'm just so frustrated you're in there just on your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I here? I kept saying.
Oh, that's right.
Why am I here?
Why am I here? I'm like, I don't know. Cause you love me.
Which I do. But honestly, it made me realize even so much more of like a choice, because you're like, oh, I'm in friendships where you've tried to communicate for so long, and you eventually often are just like, yeah, like it's just not happening. But marriage, it feels so different.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be like, okay, yeah, you're just not gonna be my closest friend.
Right.
I'll see you when I see you.
Right.
It's like, oh shoot, I gotta freaking see you every night.
Yeah.
And when I wake up in the morning,
And
you're
when
still
I'm
there.
pissed.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Something I've learned about you. Well, you get motivated differently than I get motivated.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Very true.
you get pushed differently than I get pushed. So learning how to encourage you or push you without, in a way that I wouldn't feel pushed or encouraged. For example, like, I'm very much like if I were starting a company and someone said like, you suck, come on, get your act together, you need to do this, then that would drive me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
For you, if you wanted to start a retreat center or something, and I said like, come on, like, let's go, like, put your butt into gear, like, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
That wouldn't motivate you.
Yeah.
So figuring out how, like, learning you and figuring out how to encourage you and motivate you in a way that you will receive it well has been, like, a process and a challenge.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm getting better at it now that I know that. And also too, like, you are more of a dreamer. I'm a dreamer, but I'm more of a doer than a dreamer. Well, I'm a doer and a dreamer. You're a dreamer and a thinker. So you dream, then you think, and then you do.
Yeah.
I dream, do, and then think.
Oh Lord.
In that order. And most of the time it works out.
Yeah.
It does.
We won't get started on the power washing company, but that's okay.
I messed up one time and that was the stupidest thing.
No, that's true. But it's a balance.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I, for instance, could get caught up on, I could dream and dream for so long and it would still make me excited. And then I would think about it and think like how everything in my life is not in a perfect place to make it happen, or isn't in the right spot, or how all the things, all the list of possibilities. And I would just think. I could think on a dream for years before I take any action on it, depending on how big the dream is. Where Lije has been, it actually excites me. It makes me so excited because I can't even imagine being a dreamer and then having somebody come in and just tell me that's not possible, that can't happen, because I find so much life in dreaming and envisioning. Where when he began to realize like how I dream and how I operate, it actually has been like, it feels like the perfect duo, because you've come in and you've actually just encouraged that dream by putting the do to it.
Well, the problem is too, is you'll be like, I want to buy a retreat center. Or I want to I want to open an event center in Reading. And I instantly go to, how are we going to get this done? How are we going to do this? Who do we need to contact? Where's the money going to be? Do we need to find investors? Do we need to do this, that, and this? And you don't want that. Like, you just, that you don't want. Normally, you're like...
Normally, I'm still in dream mode. I'm not actually...
And I come to you and I'm like, that's going to be really hard. Like, really hard to do. Like, to pull off, yeah. To pull off. That's going to be
and it
really
feels like
hard.
Your dream's being crushed.
To pull off. But, yeah, most of the time that just comes off as, like...
You're just being...
Yeah.
you're Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
That's how it normally feels. Or like you're not believing in me or whatever. Yeah.
Which it is. I don't believe in you. So.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of what I've even learned about you in this last year. Probably a lot of things. One thing I've actually recently realized, I look back on the last year and I look at who I married versus who you are today. And it feels so different. Like, and most people probably looking at it like, no, he's still Elijah, he's still the same person. There's been such small, even just small moments recently where I'm like, holy smokes, like Lige has changed so much within 1 year, where I've seen Lige grow in so many ways. Look, he's even recording a video after 1 whole year. He decided he can do it.
I barely did this.
He did it! Congratulations. All right, guys. Well, over and out. Hello, me again. I am just, reporting live from my kitchen this morning. So honestly, I was just thinking, making some eggs. Was just thinking, we're about to launch this video, and it's been like a whole year, and it's been like a roller coaster. It's been like the best of the best and really hard stuff. And I just felt like to pop on. One sec, gotta get the eggs. I'd like to just pop on and give y'all some encouragement. Like, I just remember when we were getting married, so many people were like, oh my gosh, our first year was so hard. And I was like, okay, like, we're not gonna have a hard first year. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, who am I kidding? But I just was like, surely it's gonna be different for us. Like, I don't know what these people are talking about. And so like the first 6 months, obviously we just talked about this. The first 6 months were, just a walk in the park. They were a breeze. And I was like, what did these people do wrong? Like, did they not take their premarital class? Like, this is the best thing ever. And then we hit the 6 months of doom, and it was super hard. Like, I don't know, just tricky stuff. And I remember going to Jay and Lawrence, which is Liza's parents' house. We often go to them to just like help us figure stuff out. And I just remember sitting on the couch one day and just like crying, like, I just want to do a good job. And, sometimes it's really hard to do a good job because you don't know what to do, like, because something is so new. And just have grace for yourself to learn and figure it out. And it's okay if you're not perfect at something right away. Like, that's the whole process of life. Like, we're always learning. And so, I don't know, I'm just here to encourage you. Like, nothing lasts forever. And those hard times between Elijah and I, where I was just like months of, like, what am I doing here? What is going on between us? Like, why can't we seem to get on the same page? They passed, and we're stronger because of it. And so, I don't know, just wanted to give you a little bit of encouragement this morning. Anyway, I just hope you guys have the most beautiful day.